Okay, welcome back. This is part 4, and we're going to go ahead and now add in the trees to the game. So we're going to use another timer, and this is going to be called tree timer. So let's go ahead and make a brand new comment. Just call that trees and add in a new event. And I'm going to go ahead and just, let's see if I can just copy and paste. Yeah, it looks like it. Okay, so we're going to do a value of a scene timer. So I'm going to copy and paste. Okay, so I'm going to set the time to 1 second, and this time change the name. Okay, so this is called tree timer, and let's just make sure that's correct. Make sure you do it in quotes, and it is case sensitive. And press OK. Okay, so that's saying that it's greater than 1 second. Okay, so again, we'll check and see if that works out. That might be too fast. It feels like that's going to be too fast. We'll see. Okay, and basically the trees are going to be spawning up here out of camera, it looks like, on the left and the right hand side, of course. So let's go here to add action, and we're going to create an object. So let's search create an object, and it's of course going to be tree. And based on the tree's sprite dimensions, which are 150 by 150 pixels, that's where they're getting these values right here. So we'll go ahead and type in these numbers here and see if they're correct. So -50 on the X value and -400 on the Y, and press OK. Okay, so now we're going to do the right side. So I'm going to then copy and paste and just change the numbers. And they're saying 535 and -500. Again, we'll see if that's correct. Okay, I'm still not seeing anything, so I'm going to go a little further in the tutorial and see if maybe I've forgotten something, or again, the values are just incorrect. Okay, so the next step is to add in a reset to the tree timer. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to find my earlier one. I'm going to just copy it, paste it, and then change the name. Traffic to tree. There we go. Okay, so far up until this point, again, I followed the tutorial exactly as it's written here, but the trees are still not spawning and showing, and neither are the cars. So I'm going to go ahead and continue, because the next section talks about moving the trees, so hopefully the trees will now start coming into the scene. And my perspective and thought is that I'll continue with the tutorial until I decide I have to go back and fix it, because I don't know for sure if I've done anything wrong. I'm pretty sure I followed it correctly. So let's move on to the next step. Okay, so now we're going to set some movement to the trees. So we're going to add a new event, and there's not going to be any condition to the new event. so it's just always happening. And we're going to add a force for the action. So if we go ahead and search the term force, this looks like it here. Again, it's going to be set to the tree, and it's going to be 0 and 300 for the values. So 0 for the x, 300 for the y, and hit OK. Let's go ahead and play test. Okay, so there we go. Finally get some movement and change, so that's good. Okay, that's looking good. And the illusion, of course, is that we're actually moving when really we're not. We're just adding movement to the trees there, and it kind of fakes it there. I'm still not getting the traffic cars, so I'll need to still figure that out. But everything else is working. Okay, so now at long last we're going to go ahead and actually start bringing in the traffic cars and getting some movement to them. So we're going to use a feature in GDevelop called object groups. And what that does is it allows us to basically control multiple objects in a much more efficient way. So we're going to be grouping the blue and the gray cars together because they're in lane 1, and then we're grouping the green and the pink cars together because they're in lane 2. So we're going to have 2 object groups to control the 4 cars. So let's head back to GDevelop, go back to the scene editor, and we want to click on this icon right here with the 3 little cubes, open the groups, object groups editor. And we're going to create 2 groups, one called traffic left and traffic right. Make sure that you rename them, of course. Okay, so there we are. Okay, so now we need to add, now that we have the group names, we need to add the objects to the group. So let's go here to traffic left, edit objects, and let's click and let's add in the blue car. Hit apply, and add in the gray car. Okay, and then we'll go and do the same thing for traffic right, and that's going to be the green car. Looks like you have to hit apply each time, which is kind of annoying. And the pink car. And save. Okay, so at long last, now we are adding in some force, so some movement to the traffic cars. Let's see if this works. Okay, so we're adding another event. So I'm going to make a new comment. Let's put it down here. And let's see, let's call this traffic movement. Let's add a new event. So there's not going to be a condition. It's going to be very much set up like the trees. So again, I'm going to copy and paste. Oops, actually we want, sorry, wrong one here. We want, here we go, sorry about that. We want to copy this action and paste the action with no condition. That way it just happens. And the object is going to be traffic left. So let's just double click. And this time we want to come down here, and you'll see at the bottom here we have the object group. So we're going to say traffic left, and then we're going to put in 0 and 100. So let's just try that out. Okay, and save. And now we're going to go ahead and do the exact same action, but this is going to be for traffic right. So again, let's copy, paste the actions, traffic right. Again, double click, and they're saying 500 for the Y. Okay, so there we are there. Okay, so in the next step, they basically say in the tutorial that we're not going to see the traffic, and you can see that we're not seeing the traffic. What they're saying is they're saying that it's due to the Z order that the cars should be showing up, but they're basically showing up underneath the street, I believe, the highway. So they're saying that we need to create a third group and add all the cars to that. So let's go ahead and try that out. Let's go back to the main scene. We're going to add a new group, and this one's going to be called, whoops, we're going to rename it. And this one is just going to be called traffic. You could call it traffic all. I'm just going to call it traffic like they said. Okay, and then you want to edit the group and you want to add all of the cars of the traffic in it. So again, it's kind of irritating that you have to go back and forth. Maybe I'm missing something here, but okay, so we've got all 4 cars in there. Just double check, make sure that you're correct. Okay, so we basically have to set the Z order to a higher, and let's see, is this a condition or an action? Okay, so scrolling down, you can see this screenshot here. It looks like it's a third action here. So let's do that. Let's go back. We'll go down here to our traffic movement, add action, and we're going to type in Z order, and it comes right up. And we'll scroll down and make sure it's the traffic group, and we're going to choose equal to, and they're saying a value of 2. Now, we have to check that. Now the tutorial is saying a value of 2, but we have to go back here and see what our street is. So our street, our highway, is a value of 1. So that should work out. And our player car is a value of 2. So that should work out. Okay, we got some traffic at long last. Awesome. Not seeing any blue cars yet. There we go. Okay, cool. All right. Nothing is happening. I can totally drive over the cars. There's no explosions yet, of course, but it's looking like it's working, so I'm pretty happy with that so far. Just trust the tutorial, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and end the tutorial here. The next section that we're moving on to, just so you can find yourself, is going to be the car can basically move anywhere. We want it to stay inside the yellow line, so that's where going to be where we start off the next tutorial. So I'll see you in the next one.